friends, welcome back to my channel. Today I want to talk to you guys about my tips for transfer students and how to kind of just have an easy transition into your new school. So I wrote down some notes and I'm just going to go ahead and tell you guys what my experience was like and what I recommend doing before you get to your new school, when you get there, and right after, and all of that. So I decided pretty early into my freshman year that I was going to transfer. I had all my reasons. Doesn't matter, everyone will have their own reasons, and you'll kind of know if you don't feel right at the school you're at. And so I decided to transfer, and that can be very, very scary, just like realizing that you're not where you want to be, and especially to then decide to stay until the end of the year, which is what I did. And so it can be really hard kind of getting into that. But once you kind of figure out where you're going, things get a little easier. But the first thing you have to do is figure out what you're going to do and where you're going. So the first thing I would do is figure out why you're unhappy. One thing for me was that the school was just too small. It was about 2,500 kids. That is smaller than my middle school. So I didn't really feel like the size would fit for me very well. So I started to look at different schools, and one thing was size, because I wanted a school that was on the bigger side, and now I'm at UCF, which is ginormous, so I definitely hit that one on the nail. But, you know, try and figure out what it is about the school you're currently at that's not making things work for you, and try and, you know, make your search tailored to those things. What is a school that will have the things that you, now that you have the experience, you know you're looking for? Put together a list of your top schools, get all that together, and get all the information you can from those schools. Figure out what, you know, scores you should be looking for, what grades they expect, what the acceptance rate for transfer students is like, what the dorm situation is like. For me, I didn't realize that at UCF they only had a couple of options for me as a transfer student for housing, so I pretty much had to live off campus. So find out all that information, find out everything you can about the school once you decide on one, or even before, and that will help you kind of make a more informed decision and just have all the information at the ready. Then I would try and make a decision as quickly as you can. The earlier you apply, the earlier you can get in. And on top of that, when you're a transfer student and you know you're not happy with the school you're at and you know you want to make a change, the earlier you have an acceptance, the earlier you feel just this relief of, I have somewhere to go, you know, I'm not going to be stuck in this place that I don't want to be. So the earlier you can have an acceptance, the better. So try and get everything done as quickly as possible. I know it's not always so easy, but if you can get it done quickly, I definitely think that it made a big difference for me, that as soon as I got my acceptance, I felt so much better, and it felt like it took forever even if it didn't, because I wasn't somewhere I was happy. The next thing I would do is either before you get to your new school or right when you get here, whenever, take a tour of the school, familiarize yourself with it as much as you possibly can. You're not coming in as a freshman, so a lot of times you're not getting the same kind of level of attention that freshmen get to familiarize yourself with the new school. They don't really tend to do that as much, at least in my experience. So try and make that for yourself. Just find ways to make yourself feel very at home in this new place. And if you've already chosen your classes by the time you're taking this tour, find the classes. Figure out exactly where you need to go, so on that first day you don't have to stress, you don't have to worry. That's a great tip for freshmen too, though. Find your classes before school starts. Make sure that you feel set and comfortable, because it'll be important to kind of building a home is feeling comfortable where you're going. I would also just kind of recommend some expectations. Don't expect that as soon as you get there you're going to immediately feel 100%. You might not. You might still feel a little off, but that's okay. You can feel off, you can feel confused or whatever. Give yourself some allowance that you might also just be scared that it's going to be just like the last place, and that's all okay. Just deal with it as it comes. Don't put too much expectation on the school, because sometimes that can backfire. I would also expect and understand that grades dropping is a very, very normal thing for transfer students. I remember I got so many different like notes and emails and all this stuff from the school as I was coming, just to say like, this is normal, accept grades to drop, it's not uncommon, whatever. So I would definitely, you know, pay attention to that. I would also recommend, just like same as I said in the freshman survival guide video that I posted, familiarize yourself with the area. Don't just hide out in your room or whatever you would do. I don't know, it's what I would do. You want to make sure that you go ahead and talk to your advisors as soon as you get to school. Make sure you're on the right track for this new school. Make sure that your major is declared, your minor is declared if you have one, that so long as you have a major and minor declared, make sure that it's declared at this new school too. Make sure that your class is transferred okay. Make sure that the grades for the class is transferred. I know for me, it took forever for my second semester grades to actually transfer over. I have no idea why. They got my transcripts, but the grades weren't being recorded. So just make sure everything is how it should be. Sometimes, you know, especially if you're going to a bigger school, it's hard for them to keep track of everything. So just make sure you can be an advocate for yourself and make sure that everything is how it should be. And there's a million other things I could say, but I think these are the basics of like, just to make sure you start at a new school strongly. If there are any specific questions you have, let me know in the comment section down below. If you would like me to film any other videos, let me know there as well. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I'll see you next time. Bye!